Is this me, Kiana? I'm actually dashing, so I'm going to try to make this really quick. Something's on my mind. Something's fresh on my mind. I have to say it. Let me start by saying making videos and being able to edit them is an amazing thing for somebody who is like me, who has autism and ADHD, right? And if you guys didn't know, I am late diagnosed ADHD. So that's autism and ADHD. That's what that is, if you hear me saying that. And, some people don't like that. Some people in this world don't like that I've self-diagnosed. But if you were in my position, you would know that it's not easy, affordable, and I don't have the resources to get diagnosed at this moment. But I have been researching it profusely. I'm not here to go back and forth about that. It is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? And if anybody knows about autism and ADHD, I'm not going to go into a whole history lesson, but with autism, it's a strange disorder because no one autistic person looks the same, right? And we're all a little different. We do have some similarities, right? Kind of like when I talk about the Black community, and everybody's always like, it's not all of us. All autistic people don't behave the same, but we do have some similarities, right? I'm just gonna use one example. When they say autistic people look up, if you see me talk and I will try to find my thought by looking up, or I don't give eye contact, shit like that. Those are like obvious things, but the autistic experience is something that is not easy to identify in people because it's like an oxymoron. It's like, so you guys can hear my thoughts on here and think, wow, she's super intelligent. And I would like to think that I am. But there's times where in my real life and throughout my entire life, people have thought I was faking being stupid. And some people have just treated me like I'm stupid, or not taking me seriously because all they can see is me being stupid. And I'm grateful to you guys who call me brilliant on here, because I've literally been being treated like I was stupid my entire life, right? And the reason that I've been being treated that way is because with autism, and I hope I'm explaining, like, even it's just going, so hopefully I'm getting everything. With autism, for me, I know that I have delayed processing. So if you ask me something or you tell me something and you want my opinion, I have to process it. I'm not saying everything. Sometimes I will have an answer for you. And people don't like that either. Like they want you to be either on or off all the time. It can't be, sometimes I have to process what you're asking me or what your instructions you're giving me. And I'm a very literal person, so I don't speak in gray area. I'm not a good person to do riddles. Don't take me on Family Feud or Jeopardy with you. You don't want to do that, And sometimes I can understand really huge concepts, but I need you to give me like baby instructions for other things. That's the only way I can explain it. Like, so if I'm working on the job, people do think I'm asking basic questions for attention, for, things like that. I've gotten it all. And I'm also so capable, more than most people are, as far as like moving and handling business and all this other stuff, that you would think that I'm capable in all areas, but there's some areas that I'm not, right? And then you guys might be more familiar with ADHD. It's, you might think ADHD just means hyper. It doesn't. It's kind of a chaotic thing as well, because sometimes ADHD can look like you sleeping on the couch and not being able to move because you don't know where to start, or you have so much information coming at you or in your head to like sift through that you just don't do anything because it's so overwhelming. Or somebody asks you a question and it can leave your brain like that, and then people think you're lying. I've dealt with that a lot. Like, I remember I went on vacation one time and somebody asked me, I'll never forget this. My baby daddy took me out of town with the kids, and let's see if I can remember the name. No, I still can't remember the name of it right now, but I remembered it one day, and I was like, that's the name. Because I think about this just randomly. It just pops up in my head randomly sometimes because I felt so stupid. But I felt like this guy was like testing me. He didn't understand me, but he was testing me. And one day he had a conversation with me, and he was asking, so where did you go? But it was kind of like condescending, like he thought I was lying. A lot of people think I be lying too. That's something. You're going to have to explain that to me. I don't know what I look like, but a lot of people think I be lying about what I'm saying. So they're always like, prove it. I don't know why. You're going to have to tell me that. But I know I'm rambling, but I'm getting somewhere. Stick with me. So, see? Oh, yeah. And I couldn't remember it. And he was like, he kind of walked away. And I just will never forget that moment where I was like, how could I go on vacation, go somewhere, spend however many days I told him I spent there, and I can't remember where I went? It's just like that. It's just like that, you know? But I say all that to say, I just screenshotted this conversation in my comment section, and I'm going to share it with you now. And all of that, what I just told you, is relevant to this comment and this exchange. So let me read it for you. Okay, so the comment says, I have no idea what you're talking about. You have to create a thesis statement and build around it. Your message is a bit incoherent. God bless you. And then the next person said, what part didn't you understand? She said, white liberals are holding the black community back. And I didn't use those words, but that's what he interpreted, and he was absolutely correct. So then this next person says, thank you. Now it makes sense. And then I said, I don't have to do anything because I was responding to the person up there. And I meant what I said. That's not me being, even that's part of autism. It's me just being direct. I mean what I say. And then I responded to John and I said, thank you for simplifying that. Sometimes I don't have the verbiage. I just speak my lived experience. Now, I wanted to highlight this because I want people to understand, and I see that this is happening. Shout out to Spiritual Whistleblower. She had the same sentiments as me when it came to a post about Oprah saying that it's trending for people to be going no contact with their family. I had the same thoughts, and then I saw her make a video, and she is also autistic, so we picked up the same thing. And this is why in my video description I put neurodivergent, and I put that because it's just the most simplest way that I can explain the way that my brain works and the way that I express myself and the things that I'm struggling with, right? But Spiritual Whistleblower called out Oprah because she called it a trend. And I think when neurotypicals see anything, they think it's a trend. They don't really see the severity or the meaning behind anything because they see so many people do it that they just think, oh, everybody's trying to jump on a trend, i.e. autism. I didn't even know autism was trending when I discovered that I was on the spectrum. I didn't know. It was just something that was revealed to me, I believe, by God. And, you know what I'm saying, everybody looking out for me because I was at a point in my life where I understood that I was different. I didn't have the words for it. Sorry. I'm going to try to push through it. I even went no contact with my family because I got sick of being treated like I was stupid and over talking. And people not understanding me. I'm not going to compare myself to somebody who's autistic and nonverbal because it's not the same. I'm not even going to say that. But I might as well be nonverbal in this world because nobody recognizes what I say normally. So online has been a great outlet for me because people who think the way that I think, people who think the way that I think or express things the way that I express things automatically can identify with how I'm relaying the message. I'm not crying right now because the commentary just made me so emotional. I'm crying because sometimes I forget that I'm struggling because I'm not allowed to say that. Hold on. I'm not allowed to say I'm struggling with basic things. And like I could say it, but nobody's going to receive it. Number one, I'm dark skinned, black, and I'm a woman. There's not a lot of people advocating for me. So I have to advocate for myself. But if you can't advocate for yourself, then they say that there's nothing wrong with you because you can advocate for yourself. And I wouldn't say it's nothing wrong, but I am different. And back to what I was saying, there's people on my TikTok who have said, I like the way that you break things down. That's the same way that I talk. And sometimes I've named it like a tree. So I will stay on topic, and then when I want to elaborate, I will branch off. And it seems like I change the subject, but I come back to it. And we don't know how long that's going to take, but I come back to it. But eventually I take it home. It just takes a while. And this is another reason why it's hard for me to break through on the internet, especially a platform like TikTok, because they want really short videos, straight to the point. So it can be seen as a disability, but I would just like to say that I'm different and that everybody's not going to understand me. So it takes a little bit of giving me grace, right? And also, we learned that people on the spectrum, this world is not really made for us. So when this commenter suggests that I should write a thesis statement, I understand the sentiment, but maybe I'm not talking to you. Maybe you have to get the message from somebody else, because I'm tired of doing what's normal and what you think I have to do to communicate. And that is even my whole point about talking about the Black community. You shouldn't have to be an intellectual, college educated, live in a certain zip code or whatever, have a certain amount in your bank account, for people to listen to you, even though you have Black skin. It takes a lot for me, and I don't think people realize it. I am doing something that takes a lot of self-confidence and bravery to do, because I'm going to get a lot of feedback. I'm going to get a lot of backlash because I don't have a degree. I'm older. I didn't make all the right decisions, but nobody wants to, especially in the Black community, nobody wants to correlate that to me being disabled, and nobody telling me things literally. So I knew what to do and what not to do, because I seem so capable, because I'm taking care of my kids, because I'm doing all of this stuff, because I'm uploading videos. You think I don't need help, but I do. But I'm just taking a risk and just saying, I have something to say, so I want to say it. And I'm not having a pity party. I'm just explaining to people that everybody's not going to communicate the way that you want to communicate. And if you don't understand them, because this is not the only comment. I've gotten so many rude comments like, what the fuck are you talking about? Laughy faces and shut your bitch ass up and you don't make no sense and what the fuck are you talking about? Like, people are just rude, and I understand that. And I'm also challenging myself to not stoop down to people's level, because aside from that, spiritually, I'm on a journey. And I don't even want to talk about that, because this is not something you can, how am I trying to say? My spiritual journey is real. I don't know. It's real to me. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not in psychosis. I challenge myself every day to be disciplined, to change the things that I want to change. And it's not easy. I'm still working on myself, mindset and everything. But it is very important to me to learn how to ignore the haters. It's very important for me to learn how to do that. So this is excellent practice. So, because I'm used to, even like the reason that I have, if you think that I'm intelligent and you know that I can explain things and give good examples, I'm this way because I've grown up around narcissists like my whole life. So that's what they require me to do, which could make it look like I'm super intelligent. It doesn't mean that I'm not. I'm just used to perseverating and by my lonesome, thinking of ways I can come at somebody with like a different explanation and a different example, because narcissists will pretend like they don't understand what you're saying. So if you've been doing this for 38 years, I'll be 38 next month, you become good at giving references and examples or trying to explain things that you really don't have the verbiage for. I don't know what a liberal is. Because I don't care to study that bullshit. I just learned what a what do you call it? Conservative was. I've been called both. I don't care to identify with any of that. And I know that a lot of you, mostly probably are neurotypical don't think it's valid for me to even speak if I don't use these words. And I think I said this in another video. You don't think what I'm saying is valid because I'm not using the verbiage you like me to use, or I'm not identifying under a certain umbrella that you want me to. I stopped saying I was black a long time ago. Nobody understood what I meant by that, so they kept saying, she's self-hating. No, I'm not going to put myself in a group because I think blackness is like a cult, a gang that you can't get out of. Right? And I have black skin. It's not that I'm not proud. It's just that, everything is, how black people do, and black people this and black power. And then you throw me away when you want to, and then you pick me up when you want to, and then you throw me away. No, I don't identify as anything. This is why I understand the community, the non-binary community. I understand what they're saying when they say they don't conform to anything. It's not even just gender for me. Really, I don't think about I identify as a woman and a girl and a lady. I have a coochie. But I mean, like, I refuse to label myself anything that you guys want me to. I don't have to make a thesis statement for you because I'm not talking to you probably. That's why I put neurodivergent in there. And I had someone even comment recently on my YouTube, and they were just like, yeah, I understand you. And I was just like, thank you. I've lived my entire life with people pretending not to understand me. This is why I cut them off, because I just woke up one day and I said, oh, they do understand me. They're gaslighting me. They're changing the subject at the right time. They're acting distracted when they're really not. I saw it clearly and I got the fuck on. On this platform, I'm not going to change who I am. It took me a long time to be confident in myself. And I'm not going backwards. I have a lot on my plate. And the last thing I'm going to say is I appreciate... Sorry. I'm just trying to get the last part out. I appreciate everybody in the comment section educating one another. And I appreciate everyone informing me of things. I oftentimes ask myself when I wanted to get diagnosed, if I got diagnosed, what would be the benefits? Because I had to understand why I would need that. And one of the things on my list was, I probably need the diagnosis so that I can maybe have an occupational therapist. That's even what I went back to school for, to become an occupational therapist, which I'm still debating if I'm going to do it or not. I'll tell you all about that later. But somebody who can help me sort through my mind and, what I need to say, and organize the things and simplify it. So this person, John, who simplified it, thank you. It's something that is what I would need help with, I literally am alone. I'm literally always exhausted. And then I have all of the, stuff going on. So, I guess I'll end it with saying, just because somebody doesn't look like they're struggling doesn't mean that they're not. And you should have a little bit more grace. And no, this is the last thing I'm going to say. If you've ever come in my comment section, because somebody came yesterday and they wrote this whole long ass comment, but they started it off with, she's delusional as usual, or she's projecting as usual. And that's another thing. I can see things that I read very vividly. If I have enough sleep and I'm clear-minded. But it said that she is projecting as usual. And now you have to understand, I'm reading a lot of comments every day now. So it gets overwhelming for me. And I guess with the ADHD, I'm just summing it up. So to that person, I would apologize to you and say I misunderstood you. Because this is what happened. I read the beginning of the comment and they said, they put a space, just like how this first person in the comment, then they wrote some more, and then they put a space and they wrote some more. And I guess they were referencing something which meant that they agreed with me. Now, I don't need anybody to agree with me on here. I'm not here for you to agree with me. But if you don't insult me. right? So when she put that, I think I responded just a lot of stuff like delusional where, like, this is my lived experience. Like, I don't care for you to agree. You can't tell me that I'm being delusional, and I'm like, I just wouldn't lie about that. I guess some people would, but that's some neurotypical shit, to lie about something and think everybody else is lying. I'm not lying. I wouldn't get on here and lie about my experience. But they said that or whatever, and then I said, where's your profile picture and where's your content? And they said, well, I don't need a profile picture or content to be able to comment, or do I need that to comment? That's what they put. And I put, no, but basically I'm not going to respect you, anything you say. So my thing is, they kept going back and forth with me for a little bit. Then after I finished writing a dissertation and other people misinterpreted it the same way I did because of the way that they structured the comment and started it off with something that looked combative, people were agreeing with this person. Then they come in and say, you didn't even read it. Something, and then condescendingly told me to do better. So I blocked the fuck out of that person, because listen, I can admit that I'm wrong. I can say, oh, I'm sorry if I misunderstood you, with respect. Don't come on my page trying to be an agent of chaos, just trying to argue with somebody. You wanted your comment to be misinterpreted from the beginning. That's why you structured it that way. You got what you wanted. We misinterpreted it, and you just came here to argue. And then now that I'm arguing, you need to get the fuck off my page. I don't have enough patience. Sometimes I'm reading comments. I'm not saying you have to agree with me, but get to your point. This is just for anybody who's commenting. If you don't want me to be rude, don't write a whole thing making me think you're saying one thing and then it's a punk fake and you say something like, just keep it less performative and write what you need to write. Keep it simple. I make a joke. When I made my Thanksgiving video, I said neurodivergents are slow, because that's what they've been calling us our whole life. We're not slow. We just communicate in a different way, right? So just communicate with me in a different way, in a literal way. That's all I'm saying. But that's the last thing I'm going to say. And I wanted to make this video to be clear. If you don't understand what I'm saying, then just go. Just go. Because I don't care if you understand what I'm saying. I mean, I care, and thank you to the people. I don't know if John was neurodivergent or not, but thank you for simplifying that. That will help too. So if you guys can simplify things in the comment section like that for me, that would be amazing. And I appreciate you. I'm not going to stop talking just because I'm different, or just because I don't want to write a thesis statement first. I'm going to press record and I'm going to say what I have to say. And if you don't want to hear it, bye.